with a blinding blizzard of frantic activity that looks like a lot, but upon closer examination, doesn't add up to very much at all. He hates Britain, hates the royal family, hates all of us, doesn't like this place. And it's feelings mutual, of course. She will never set foot in this country again. And yet Harry, suddenly the difficult Duchess is no longer the scam-jam, flogging, honey-making, down-home domestic goddess. She's the self-styled queen of the scene in the wonderful world of high fashion. At least that, clearly, is what...
Okay, let's be real. Kevin O'Sullivan didn't just talk about Meghan Markle. He came in swinging. He said it loud, crystal clear. Meghan is lost, desperate, and honestly completely flailing in Montecito. And oh my God, the way he said it, it wasn't just some casual jab. It felt like he dropped a royal nuke right in the middle of her PR kingdom. You know when someone's trying so hard to prove they've got everything under control, but the cracks are basically screaming louder than the facade? That's the vibe he painted.
Meghan started playing her favorite tracks. Gold Digger by Kanye West. Material Girl by Madonna.
Yeah.
You can't...
Kevin O'Sullivan didn't just criticize her number, he obliterated her. This is a man who's been covering the royal circus longer than most people have been alive. He's seen every royal scandal, every overly polished PR stunt, and every teary-eyed tell-all that was more choreographed than a Broadway musical. And this time, Kevin wasn't playing polite, no carefully crafted words, no soft phrasing. His words sliced through Meghan's brand like a shard of glass. It was sharp, brutal, and honestly, kind of iconic.
Started off with that ridiculous film of her running around a beach putting 2025 in the sand. My favourite bit was Harry's great big sneaker shoe imprint on the sand.
When Kevin called Meghan relentless, trust me, he didn't mean it like a glowing feature in some glossy magazine. It wasn't admiration, it was a warning. The polite British way of saying, "Sweetheart, you've officially gone way too far." And the way he zeroed in on that infamous Netflix documentary moment, oh, you know the one, the vegetable chopping scene. She thought she was serving relatable homemaker realness, but Kevin, he saw straight through it.
Show. Remind me, I keep getting it. Is it With Love Meghan or Meghan with Love? What's it called?
It's With Love, Meghan.
With Love, Meghan. Here's the trailer.
He compared it to some over-the-top, late-night infomercial. Meghan slicing those vegetables like she was auditioning for a cooking show nobody asked for. It was intense, and honestly, kind of hilarious. Kevin even shook his head as he said it. It was that absurd. It was like watching someone who forgot what they were selling but kept smiling through the chaos, and deep down, he wasn't wrong.
How you can incorporate these practices every day. That's what you want. You want that shape and texture.
That scene became a meme factory for a reason. Those exaggerated smiles, the overly rehearsed moves, it was all too polished. Like she wasn't trying to be grounded, she was desperately trying to convince everyone she was. And the world. Oh, they could smell the performance from miles away.
Experienced television critic, I don't think this show stands a chance. I mean, what's it about? Why on earth do I want to know about...
Kevin's real point wasn't even about the chopping itself. It was about the energy. That same chaotic, overproduced, panic-laced vibe has seeped into everything she touches. Interviews, business ideas, even the way she stands. What used to look like ambition now just looks like panic dressed in couture.
What's her qualifications for this? You know, we'll put up with it for Nigella Lawson or Martha Stewart, all of these people with a track record. You know, they've got a podium to preach.
He argued Meghan is stuck in this endless loop of trying to prove herself. To the royals, to the world, to herself. Every single move feels like a reaction, not a decision. Like she's chasing ghosts, not goals. And honestly, it hit hard. The woman who once shouted she craved privacy now seems addicted to attention. Kevin's line was brutal. She's trying to sell authenticity in bulk and no one's buying.
Comes to domestic lifestyle choices. This woman, what does she know? Why not? You know, it's like, oh, here's a baked cake for my friend. Look, here's some strawberries. Oh, look. You know, I'm looking for flowers.
And of course, social media exploded. That vegetable scene came back with a vengeance. Edited, memed, remixed, captioned. People were mocking her with lines like, "Chop it like it's hot." It was savage. But let's be honest, when the internet smells pretense, it doesn't play nice.
Now, hang on. I heard... Yeah, I mean, it doesn't overwhelm you. And
That's the real tragedy. Meghan's relentless drive used to scream empowerment. Now it just looks desperate. Kevin wasn't clowning her just to be mean. He was pointing out how this obsession with control has backfired. If her Netflix performance looked manic, her business life, pure chaos. People close to her describe it like a storm with no eye, brainstorming marathons, half-baked launches, rebrands that fall flat. It's a carousel of confusion.
jar. Right. Okay. This is the raspberry one.
It's expensive. It lacks substance.
One week it's organic jam, the next it's lifestyle collabs, before that, podcasts. Every new thing starts with a bang and ends in radio silence. Kevin summed it up perfectly. She's spinning in circles, throwing darts blindfolded, praying something sticks. She promised an empire after leaving the monarchy. What we got? A revolving door of panic pivots. Each new launch looks less like innovation and more like damage control. The irony is chef's kiss. She once accused the royal family of stifling her creativity, but now, left to her own devices, that creativity looks like unfiltered chaos. No strategy, just scrambles. Even her ex-team members admit it. Working for her was exhausting. One PR insider even said she changes direction faster than the media can type. Kevin called it what it is, brand burnout. When every move feels calculated, nothing feels real. That's Meghan's biggest problem. She's overproduced herself into oblivion. The world doesn't see passion anymore. It sees panic in a PowerPoint deck. Behind the filters and the dazzling smiles, a storm. The once unstoppable Duchess is unraveling under the weight of her own ambition. It's not that people stopped caring, they stopped believing. And when belief dies, the brand dies with it. Kevin's takedown made that brutally clear. Her empire wasn't built on strength, it was built on noise. And when the shouting stopped, there was nothing left but echoes. And if Meghan Markle's downfall ever needed a defining moment, oh, Paris Fashion Week delivered. This was supposed to be her I'm still that girl moment. A global stage, a glamorous comeback, but instead of sparkle, we got scandal. The whispers started before she even landed. Meghan wasn't invited, she invited herself. She reached out personally to designers. Like, personally, can you imagine? A woman who once graced royal red carpets, now cold-calling fashion houses like a desperate influencer begging for a collab. Balenciaga's creative director even confirmed she reached out, asking to appear. For the fashion elite, that was jaw-drop territory. Paris is a city built on authenticity. You can't fake your way in there. You either belong or you don't. When the footage made the rounds, social media erupted like a volcano. How dare she use Diana's tragedy for clout? One tweet read. Even Diana wouldn't have done this, said another. For the first time, even some of Meghan's most loyal fans couldn't defend it. It wasn't a tribute, it was emotional marketing. Harry's reaction? According to sources, quiet fury. He hated the way the media twisted the moment. But Kevin wasn't buying that spin. If you don't want your wife tied to Diana's death, he said coldly, maybe don't let her film Instagram content at the site. That single line detonated across tabloids like a grenade, and with that, Meghan lost something far more valuable than a headline. She lost sympathy. Paris was bad, but New York, oh, New York was worse. Because if Paris was humiliation, New York was tone-deaf narcissism in HD. The event was supposed to be about child safety online, grieving families, real, gut-wrenching stories. Meghan was meant to use her platform to shine light on that. Instead, she turned it into a catwalk. Before she said a single word about children's safety, she dropped a glossy, Vogue-style montage of herself. Designer heels, racks of couture, golden lighting, like she was walking into a Met Gala, not a memorial panel. Kevin O'Sullivan called it exactly what it was, tone-deaf narcissism at its finest. And honestly, he wasn't exaggerating. People online were livid. One mother whose son had died because of cyberbullying tweeted, "My child is gone," and she used this pain for Instagram clout. The outrage was nuclear. Hashtags trended for days. Meghan looked detached, more concerned about angles than impact. And right there next to her was Harry, trying to smile, but looking like a man silently wondering what on earth was happening. Then came the Fortune Most Powerful Women's Summit. That was supposed to be her redemption arc. The comeback moment, the big I'm still relevant power play. But once again, she fumbled. She walked on stage like she owned it, polished, glowing, that Duchess grin locked in place. But the second she started speaking, it all unraveled. Introduced as a highly scrutinized founder, Meghan launched straight into her favorite narrative, victimhood. Oh, the scrutiny. The pressure. Kevin O'Sullivan couldn't resist a jab afterward. She built her brand on attention and now complains she's being looked at. Even the audience chuckled awkwardly. This wasn't inspiration, it was a therapy session disguised as a keynote. Her speech was all buzzwords. Anchoring, purpose, finding your truth. But there was no substance. It was like being trapped in a word salad buffet. Lots of garnish, zero nourishment. And here's the kicker. While she was preaching about empire building, her own empire was crumbling in real time. Her jam brand was a flop, her Netflix deal shaky, Spotify already gone. Every empire move she bragged about was turning into dust. Kevin's commentary afterward was savage. She's preaching growth while her empire collapses like a soggy scone. By the time she finished, there were no thunderous claps, just polite applause and a rush for the exits. But Meghan wasn't done, oh no. She still clung to the fantasy. Kevin later explained it bluntly. She doesn't just want to be famous, she wants to be a billionaire. Oprah, Rihanna, Kim Kardashian. Except, as Kevin put it, there's one little problem. People actually have to like you first. She launches, she rebrands, she trademarks teapots and dog treats. She dreams of building an empire, but every single thing she touches either fizzles or implodes. The TIG, gone. Spotify, canceled. Netflix, barely breathing. And now, American Riviera Orchard, her jam empire, melting into a punchline. Kevin's line went viral again. You can't become a billionaire when people don't even like you. That's the heart of it. She doesn't sell products, she sells herself. And the world's tired of buying. Even insiders have started whispering about how her ventures are built on vibes, not vision. Everything's aesthetics, nothing's authentic. And then Kevin went for the jugular. She doesn't build, he said. She abandons. It's the pattern, always the same. She starts something, makes a scene, milks the hype, and then walks away. The TIG, the royal duties, Spotify, Netflix deals hanging by a thread. Even friendships vanish when they stop serving the storyline. Jessica Mulroney, gone after one PR storm. Her dad and sister, erased. Kensington Palace staff, fled in tears. And then, there's Harry. Kevin's words turned ice cold here. If Meghan quits everyone the moment they stop serving her, what makes Harry think he's safe? It wasn't gossip, it was a warning. Kinsey Schofield nailed it too. She's not a builder, she's a burner. She builds bridges, lights them on fire, then complains about the smoke. That's Meghan in a nutshell. She loves the rush of the new, the spotlight, the excitement. But when the shine fades, she's already halfway out the door, scouting her next stage, next savior, next storyline. Then came the most brutal blow from Kevin O'Sullivan. Not about fashion, not about jam, not about PR. She lacks grace, he said flatly. In royal circles, that's not a jab. That's a death sentence. Grace was what made Queen Elizabeth legendary. Calm, silent, dignified. Meghan, she turned every bump into a Broadway production. One woman built an empire through dignity. The other torched hers through drama. Never complain, never explain, was the royal rule. Meghan's version, always complain, always explain. Even during the Queen's final years, a time that should have been handled with quiet respect, Meghan couldn't resist dragging everything into her spotlight. Oprah interview while Prince Philip was hospitalized. Paparazzi poses at the Queen's funeral. Every moment turned into a scene. Kevin didn't sugarcoat it. It wasn't courage, it was cruelty. Dressed as courage, Kinsey Schofield echoed it perfectly. The Queen spent her last days fighting a pandemic and a feud Meghan created. And that's the thing, grace can't be faked, it can't be bought, and Meghan never had it. Her downfall isn't just about one scandal or one failed brand. It's about this constant need to control the narrative and the cruel twist. The harder she tries to control it, the more it spins out of her hands. Kevin's final words were brutal but true. Every venture fails for one reason. People don't like her. It's not the jam. It's not the dress. It's not the chopping. It's the image, the performance, the exhausting facade. For years, she's played smoke and mirrors. Launch a shiny project, soak up headlines, vanish before results come in. But the world has caught on. The jam didn't sell. The podcast didn't inspire. The documentaries fizzled. Even the couture moments have become memes. Every comeback is smaller, sadder, more desperate. Kevin's closing words were poetic and cutting. The relentless chopping of vegetables became the relentless chopping of opportunities. What was once ambition now looks like flailing. What once seemed like reinvention now reeks of desperation. The crowd has left the theater. The applause has stopped. The spotlight isn't warm anymore. It's harsh and exposing. And as Kevin O'Sullivan said, she's not redefining herself. She's dismantling herself, one headline at a time.